Good day, fellow babies. I actually just met a whole bunch of people who asked me where I got fellow babies. I went to GameSpeed. So, hey, fellow babies, which comes from WKRP in Cincinnati. Welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. We are really appreciative of all of our Patreon patrons and our YouTube subscribers. That is keeping Shane in gas money so you can come to me and film these things. And also, we are appreciative to any of you, subscriber or not, who links their Amazon Prime account to their Twitch Prime account. That is free. It's part of your Amazon Prime annual fee. You've already paid for it. And believe it or not, if you follow the instructions in the show description below, you can link those two accounts and Amazon will pay Shane, I think it's $250 a month, but you have to renew it every month. So you will get back in value $30 of that $139, soon to go to $149, I think, or $159. You're going to get back $30 of your Amazon Prime fees for free. You're sticking it to Amazon. Please do it. Today's live topic is the kerfuffle. I love that word. Look it up, kerfuffle, Kerfuffle. The kerfuffle over Randy Pitchford saying that you should all go to work at a Tasty Freeze so you can afford $80 for the next Borderlands 4. I got to be honest with you. I'm kind of on Randy's side here. He may have come off as cocky or snide or entitled, but the truth is, I in fact worked at Baskin Robbins, and when I worked at Baskin Robbins, the minimum wage, you're going to die when I tell you this, was $1.40 an hour, and we didn't get tips. Now, in fairness, there probably weren't real video games. I think the Atari 2600 came out around then. But, an arcade game cost 25 cents. So just to play Pong in an arcade, back then was 25 cents, which was about, 15% of my hourly pay. So that meant I had to literally work about 9 minutes to play one game of Pong. And I remember my pay going up, and I remember minimum wages. I worked at McDonald's for a little bit, and I picked up dog poop, and I did all sorts of fun, kind of odd jobs. But, back in, let's say, 2000, the minimum wages were maybe $7 or something, and now they're like 16. It depends on where you live, obviously. But let's go back and look at real inflation. 2000 PlayStation games were $50. Inflation since 2000 is something like 85%. Again, you can look it up. It's give or take 1 or 2 percentage points. It's been 85%. So, $50 back then, if you add 85%, you're at $92.50 for a game. So if a $50 game had just kept up with inflation, it'd be $92. To charge $80 now for a game that is so much bigger, so much more graphically realistic, so much more involved than a game from the PlayStation 2 era, I don't think that's unreasonable at all. I actually was in an Uber yesterday. I spoke at another conference, and I was talking to an investor in the back seat about GTA, and my driver, when I hung up, said, I would pay anything for that game. And I said, it's going to be $100. And he goes, that's okay. I'll just give up Taco Bell for a week. I can afford it. And that's the point. Uber driver making not very much money, and he's buying GTA. I would say not go get a job. I would say just give up spending money outside the house for a day or two, and you can make the delta between $70 and $80 for a new game. I don't think it's crazy to give up one fast food meal once in order to be able to afford Borderlands, the extra $10, or give up one fast food meal for 3 weeks and you can afford GTA. So, I guess the right question, there's two. Is a new game worth $80? I think so. And obviously it's up to you whether you pay it or not. Is a new game worth $100? If it's GTA, I think so. But I think that the point that most consumers miss on game pricing, there is no entitlement to play GTA the day it comes out, or to play Borderlands 4 the day it comes out. And in fact, and I find this just to have happened to me over the last 20 years, I get so busy and I have so many games to play that I rarely get to games the week they come out. I mean, it depends. I think Fallout 4 I probably did play the week it came out, but I almost never play Call of Duty when it comes out. So I think that, you know, there's a way to save money on games, which is wait a year. And by the way, if Borderlands sucks, it's going to be way less than 80 way sooner than a year later. If it's great, it'll be 50 or 40 a year later. So you don't have to pay 80, but you don't have to play it the week it comes out either. So when Randy says go get a job, I think what Randy's really saying is, if you want to play our game the week it comes out, we've been spending years making it. We have a giant studio. We've been paying people salaries. These people are paying their mortgage, and they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into making a great experience for you. We need to charge 80 to earn back what we've already paid all these people. And if you really want to play the game the week it comes out, pay the $80. Now, I'll say this about GTA because it's a lot easier to do the math than it is with Gearbox and Borderlands. Gearbox went through that whole period of being an independent studio, then owned by Embracer, now owned by Take-Two. So it's kind of unclear how many people they have and how many years they've been working on the game. But Rockstar, I know for sure, has 2,000 employees. And I think it is far-fetched to assume that any fewer than 1,200 of them are working on GTA. They had all hands on deck for Red Dead 2 until 2018, except not really. There was certainly a complement of employees who were working on GTA Online, and I'm sure that was hundreds. There was a complement of employees of their 2,000 Rockstar employees who were working on GTA 6 early level design, just figuring out kind of the order of the different missions and how they want to assign things and how to build the state and, state of Leonida and what they were doing. So let's just say, in fairness, that they had 500 employees working on GTA between 2013 and 2018, and then they have, let's say, 1,200 full time. Let's not go crazy and say 2,000 working on it since 2018. So from 2013 to 2018, $250 million. From 2018 to 2026, 8 years, that's 1,200 people, let's say. So it's 120 million a year. Call that $1 billion. They're $1.25 billion into this game, period. And, are they going to sell, 125 million units? Probably. But, to do the math, they need $10 per unit just to make back their R&D expense. They're obviously going to have huge marketing expense. These people barely get bonuses except for when GTA comes out, and they need to pay these people way more than $100,000 for making the best game of all time. So they're going to charge $100, and I think it's justified. I mean, Take-Two actually funded this 1.25 billion of development costs, and I think that number's real. I really think it's that high, and Take-Two needs to get that 1.25 billion back. And obviously, you can assume that they're going to sell 100 million units. You can't assume they're going to sell 200 million units. We don't have as many PS5s and Xbox Series out there this cycle, and we're not going to as we did PS4s and Xbox Ones. It's just not going to happen, and that's because Microsoft shifted over to focusing on Game Pass, and it's highly unlikely GTA 6 is going to be on Game Pass. And Sony not only isn't cutting price, they're raising price. And tariffs just screw that up further. So realistically, I mean, of course they're going to sell 100 million units, but 200, maybe not. Now, PC they might, and that might save them. If they do other things with GTA Online, they might make money on the back end from that. But, I think that realistically, they can only count on selling 100 million units. And I think the fastest way to make sure they get that 1.25 billion of R&D expense back is to jack up the price. So I think first year that game's at $100. How do you pay $100? You give up Starbucks for a month. BFD. The fact is, $100 for 100 hours of game experience is worth it. And GTA is going to be worth 100. Borderlands, I'm not as high on the franchise as I am on GTA, but it's going to be 80. Mario Kart, I am absolutely not a Mario Kart player, but I understand the appeal. it's going to be 80. I think you should get used to the new reality. 80 is the new 50. $50 from 2000 is $92.50 now. I think new games bracket that price point, and I think 80 is standard. 100 every once in a while, a GTA can pull that off. If they make GTA Online free, I actually think they'll keep the price point of GTA much higher for much longer. And those tail sales that they make 7 years, 8 years later, if they're $50, they're fine if they sell 5 million copies. So I think you should get used to 80 because that's the new 50, period. I think you should tolerate Randy Pitchford saying, go get a Tasty Freeze job so you can make money exploiting other people's labor. Believe it or not, Take-Two is exploiting the Rockstar employees' labor and making a profit. Randy is exploiting Gearbox employees' labor and making a profit. The Gearbox employees are exploiting your labor because you're going to work an extra hour at Tasty Freeze so you can afford that $80 price point, and he's going to make a profit. But that's how capitalism works. And as I said at the beginning, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Wait till the price point's right. Unfortunately, we're losing the ability to buy the used copy at GameStop. That has declined to the point where maybe it's not even going to happen. Like, I'm curious to see if there actually even is a physical copy of games produced, coming like with GTA. Will they even bother making a physical copy, or will it be digital only all the time? Like, I don't know. I recognize that $80 or $100 is a lot. And as I pointed out, I used to have to work 9 minutes to play one session of Pac-Man. You guys have to work literally 5 or 6 hours to buy a game. I get it, but you get 100 hours worth of fun. So, is it worth it? I think so. And I think it's worth working 5 hours for something you really want. I really do very much appreciate all of our Patreon patrons and YouTube subscribers who are getting Pachter Factor live real time, and the rest of my fellow babies and my Patreon patrons and YouTube subscribers. Please remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. It is free for you. Amazon eats it. They pay Shane. If you can link Amazon Prime and Twitch Prime, he gets paid. Really easy to do, 3 clicks. Look at the instructions on how to do this in the show description below. And please remember to link it if you haven't done it in a month, because you have to renew it each month. I will see you guys on Pachter Factor Live next week. Thanks for joining us. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.